The Vatican owns the title to the whole planet, all the souls therein, via the claim of right that they made through their papal bulls. And one of those papal bulls was written up in 1471, 11 years before Columbus set sail. And when Columbus came back, he signed contracts with the King of Portugal called the Treaty of Tesadillos, in which the Vatican, Alexander, the Borgia Pope at the Vatican, blessed and accepted as the title for all the Americas. And that is how they've treated us. They do own the world by virtue of that. And Franco Collins is the guy in Australia, that's the guy who's going to challenge them. Because that claim of right hasn't been challenged. They put on that papal bull that they own the world and all the souls therein, and that's why our birth certificates are tied to that. And that's why they conquered these lands. That's why they had to come here and take this land, because it's a business, it's a corporation. Those trusts are corporations, and they make money on them. And they've enslaved us by doing that. And they're running a business. All of this is a business. It's all a business. The Americas, everything. It's all business. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is the Christian power, because the religion that they use, the deceivers in theology, is predominantly Christian. The fictional Christian, because I'm teaching you true Christianity here. Christ is the Son. So when I say that, that's what I'm saying. He's not the only guy who's exposed that. So has this guy about Arius Copernicus. Okay? So, and they've exposed, and let me tell you, if you read this book and you realise who's behind all the injury in the world, the banksters, right? But he's got a chapter in here, and it's called Monotheism, Money, Militarism, and Monarchy. That's the cabals that have joined in order to enslave us. But monotheism, please believe me, is our enemy. It's our enemy, monotheism. And the Christians, those empire builders, those corporations and imperialists, did all their murders with the blessing of the Vatican. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, to polarize us and to hate what's happened, but it's a business. And they cannot do it unless they have their priestcraft, i.e. the cardinals, blessing them. They can't do it unless there's a papal bull in the vault in the Vatican and to act on it. They can't do it. Like they can't hoodwink you when you go to court. When you go to court, everything about court is ecclesiastical. You're going to confess. It's the sacrament of penance. They've monetized money, sin. They've monetized sin. You're going into court to confess. It's a hearing. There's the clerk, the cleric. There's the scrivener notary. Scrivener means a writer of indulgences. All those writs, all those fines and summonses comes from a scrivener. Scrivener, vene, scribe means to write, and vene is an indulgence. They're telling you. They give you an attorney who turns you over. They give you a prosecutor, prosecutus, representing one's own flesh, cutus, skin. So he goes and represents, he goes with a summons and he says, Your Honour, I've got this charge against this guy who's the beneficiary of the Sestui KV trust, by the way. You're the beneficiary of that trust. Remember that when you go into court. And don't change roles with the judge, because this is how they're hoodwinking you, and they need the blessing of Saturn. They need the blessing, the Latin in the courts, because it's the Church of Saturn, the Grim Reaper. That's why they wear black. It's all ecclesiastical. You're going there to confess, and we are paying money to the Vatican. And it's run by the Zionist Jews. Simple as that, through the private guilds. How they do that? Okay, I wasn't going to get into this because this is another presentation altogether. But, oh, look at that. There's your local sheriff with a cross on his thing. That is an officer of the Inquisition, people. When you learn what Franco Collins is teaching, you'll see that's an officer of the Inquisition. That's the 3 crowns of the Pope, the tiara, the trirenium. They are the 3 Sestui KV accounts that hold your soul. They are the kings of your soul. That takes away your personal property through your birth certificate. That takes away your real estate. This takes away your soul. And that's Pope Boniface in 1302 that established that Papal Bull. So when they go a-conquering, and the Temple Bar, that's in the City of London, that's the people who run the courts, who run that fictional court by the false empire. Yes, magic, because they are doing their magic on you, and they do a trick of it. There's the tiara. There's the Pope's wearing it. That's 666, because the trusts are called Sestui KV. Sestui is 6. That's the king, the mark of the beast. The beast are you and I, the fools who have signed up to the system. And that's what they're doing. They're rubbing it in your face. That's why I say, and I say that I know what Christians did. I'm talking about the imperialist corporate Christians. That's Christopher Columbus landing. Within a year, they wrote back to Spain saying, this man, on this island there were 3 million inhabitants, there are only 200 left. Your soldiers have butchered everyone. They just butchered and butchered and butchered and butchered and butchered. Right? Sure, there were pilgrims that went, that were running away. There were Hermeticists that were running away to America, and there were good people. It's full of good people. There are more good than bad. But it's the corporations that are bad, and it's corporations that use Christianity to spellbind us. They can't do it legally without the blessing. That is the Pope in 1862. Pope right there, blessing all these, the army of the Italians. It's scary when you think about it, but we have to bust this system. I mean, it needs to be busted. It needs to be either ignored or dealt with. And I think that if anyone was interested in really studying that aspect of our history, I've got some websites that will be very, very handy to go to. That's Franco Collins. And they all connect to my website called universaltruthschool.com. Universaltruthschool.com. And these are all Franco Collins, and this here teaches here where you can create an ecclesiastical deed poll and you can collapse those trusts.
You can really